Not that anyone. Okay. Okay, guys. Welcome to the Logic Analyzer Lab for CTF. One quick announcement you might have saw, you probably didn't. Dakota Conquest signups just dropped like 20 minutes ago, so if you're interested in a mixed red team and blue team competition that happens a couple weekends from now, go sign up for that. Alright, so first I want to thank Cody and Andrew for helping me get this this hardware. The logic analyzers themselves are owned by the Governor's Cyber Academy, and Andrew is basically just the one who opened the closet so that we could get this stuff, but still, thank you to them. Alright, here's a little cheesy scenario for you. You're testing a new embedded system for Secure Electronics Automation LLC, or SEAL for short, when one of your junior engineers alerts you that a flaw in the cryptographic implementation might exist. After some initial triaging, you agree with their assessment. However, corporate won't delay the launch until you can prove that the flaw could be exploited. Can you demonstrate this vulnerability to protect potential millions of clients? Alright, go. Figure it out. No, I'm just kidding. So, everyone's on their own, so you don't need to get into partners, but each station you're at should have 2 Arduino boards, like these. A blue USB A to B connector, a Sele Logic, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sele, whatever. One of these things, a little square. And then you should have a little bundle of, these are not male to female, but female to female wires in a little bundle like this. There should be a little block on the end. And then you should have 4 loose male to male breadboard wires as well. And then finally the connector for the logic analyzer, and then 3 of these little connector pin thingies. I don't know what they're called. But if you don't have any of those, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we will get started. First things first, the 2 different Arduinos have a slightly different image flashed on them, so don't mix them with your neighbors. Keep them together, please. Otherwise, the lab will not work. Alright, so step 2, you're going to take your blue cable here, and you're going to plug it into your laptop in the USB-A port. Doesn't matter.
Is this safe?
Yes. As long as you follow my instructions and don't deviate, you'll be fine. Alright. So once you've got that in, you can plug in one of the Arduinos. It does not matter which one. They're basically the same. Omar. We only just started, so I'll just catch you up real quick. Get your computer out.
Wait, did you install the software? Huh? Did you install the software?
We now have Python.
I just made a team, bro.
You do have Python, that is true. Alright, we'll wait just a second here for Omar. While we're doing that, you can go ahead and take your second Arduino, and then if you look on these little header pins along the top and bottom, on one side there should be a section called Power, and in the Power section there are 2 little pins marked Ground, GND. And so you're going to take one of your breadboard wires, attach it to one of those ground pins, and then attach it to the ground pin, one of the ground pins on the other Arduino. So you're basically taking ground to ground, and that will make sure that nothing catches on fire while you're trying to work with stuff.
So ground to ground?
Ground to ground.
Catch on fire?
And they're on the right side, correct? Oh, it's labeled.
Yep. Everything, all of the pins are labeled, so
On this one, it's got little stickers on the side.
yeah.
Here,
Some of them do.
So it's like, oh.
There's like 2 different styles, so like 2 different brands of Arduino boards in here, but anyway, yeah. So plug that in, Omar. Then plug in one of the Arduinos, and then take ground to ground. So take ground pin from one, attach it to the ground pin on the other using one of the breadboard wires.
How many ground pins are there on?
There are 2 ground pins each. They are labeled. If you look at the blue board, it will say GND for ground.
So it doesn't matter which one?
Doesn't matter. They're the same. Alright. Everyone up to this point? Yes, okay. So now what we can do is take another one of our male-to-male breadboard wires, and right next to the ground pins, there's one labeled 5V for 5 volts. So you're going to attach the 5 volt pin from one board to the 5 volt pin on the other board. Make sure that you are doing 5 volt to 5 volt and not anything to do with the 3.3 volt. We do not want 3.3 volts.
Mine's on fire.
So don't do that.
Hey, there's lights. Yeah, put some fire.
Yeah,
so
see-
open the software yet?
Not yet. I'll tell you when. Yeah. So you should now see lights on both of the boards, green light on each, and then 1 or 2 orange lights. So then what you'll do is you take your next breadboard wire, and on the other side, on the other pin heads on the very end, you should see pin 1 and 2 are TX and RX. So you're going to take a breadboard wire and connect the RX from one board to the TX pin on the other board, and then vice versa.
Which one? Oh, okay.
So there's only one of each crease.
Well, no, you said,
Nope.
before you said and vice versa, I was like, which one?
Vice versa, as in TX goes to RX, TX goes to RX.
That's so cool.
So it will.
Did you hear the vice versa at first? I've got it first.
I'll have one and see what they're not showing.
All right.
It's 5 volts.
So I just realized I accidentally pasted the same image twice there. But anyway, it should look like this with 4 wires going between. So next you are going to get your logic analyzer. You can plug it in using the long black cable that should be at your station. And you can just plug that into the other port on your laptop. Then you'll take the little bundle of wires, and if you're facing the pins on the logic analyzer, you'll plug in the bundle so that the little arrow plugs into the top left pin. So you can kind of see in this image, might be a little hard to see, but like right here there's this little arrow that will go into the top left slot. So it should look like this. You know, sometimes I really do need like a Krebsbach like camera facing my desk.
It would be it's so helpful, wouldn't it?
Alright, so next what you can do is attach these little connector things to the 3 pins, the 3 wires connected to these 3 pins. So it'll be the top left wire, the one with the arrow, then the one to the right of it, and the one below it. Everyone up to that point? What do you mean no? Figure it out. You just, there's little, if you look in the little notch at the top, there's 2 little pins that stick out at an angle. You just slide the wire onto one of those pins.
Just a little like the motions.
Everyone got that? Good.
You get it?
So literally just
You.
slide it. That's so unintuitive. How is that unintuitive? It's a hole and then a pin that goes in the hole. Anyway.
Oh wait, in there?
No.
Well, I know.
It's so unintuitive. Okay. You see that image?
Yeah.
So, okay. So then on.
Oh.
I have no clue why they're made like that.
Why
but
it's at this. Okay.
Oh, we go like this?
It's all staying. This is Did it right once?
You want to plug that into that
Listen to this.
so that the arrow is on the left. So you see the little arrow?
Okay.
I think everyone's up to this point. So the next thing to do is, you see how these pins are marked, RX, TX, and ground. You're going to start with the ground wire on the bottom. So the little black wire, yeah. So then there's a little plunger on the back of these. If you hold, it's kind of hard to see, but if you hold like this crossbar and press from the back, 2 little prongs will come out the end. So then you'll take that and attach it to the ground wire on one of the boards. It does not matter which one. Does that make sense to everyone? And if you need to pull out the wire that's attached to the pin on the board a little bit so that you can actually clip onto it, that's totally fine.
Which one to the ground wire?
The one marked ground.
I think we should test what happens if we do things without.
Oh.
You'll pull it out a little bit and then punch it in the gap between.
Good.
I swear I'm not setting this on fire, yeah.
Good.
Little do you know, mine's about to catch on fire.
Yep.
So the wire in there.
What if I attach it to myself?
Look at that image on the left.
I mean, that's what I was punching myself with the other one that was on the playlist.
They're all the same.
All of them are? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at these 3 pins. Do the same thing for all 3. Oh my gosh, I'm dying, guys. They're trying to kill me. Okay, so once you have the ground wire attached, you can go ahead and attach the other 2 to the RX and TX pins of the board. So your top left one's going to be RX, same maneuver, and then TX.
And we go RX to RX?
Yes, so the mark there is the pin you will attach to.
Okay. I was making sure it wasn't like the
Nope.
the wires where
Nope. Truthfully, I don't think it matters, but we'll follow procedure, like good cyber majors.
Do good cyber majors follow proper procedures?
Yes, they do, Chris.
The RX on this one, like, if you're going on this one, RX, this one is like this. I'm saying
How do you put your
Same.
So after I
Hold
test
that
all
a
the
little bit.
pins,
Stuck on the pin.
the bottom one is the ground.
Because
Yes.
you latch it on.
Oh. Like, this way? So I can do that, yeah.
This
This is too complicated.
Like this is completely
pull this slightly. Pull that back.
And then I wrap it around
Yeah.
and put it back.
Oh,
So you'll extend the plunger.
okay. And the same thing.
You didn't see this. Wait, you didn't see this.
So now with those other 2 pins marked RX, yes, we do the same thing for the RX.
Hey, don't shame us.
So the one marked RX there in the top left goes to the RX pin. And that one.
That's probably why it's different.
This is your TX. And you can put your RX.
But like, it's the TX of this one.
What again? Okay, so this ground one right here is the TX. This TX, right? This is the TX. Okay. Yeah. So on this one, the pin marked RX goes to the RX pin. The pin marked TX goes to the TX pin. It's straight through. It's not crossover like when we attach to it. So I got one right.
It's gonna take the ground one?
Because it's
Yes.
it's TX for one.
Yeah, but
It doesn't have a ground one.
I'm still doing something.
I'm gonna sit my tongue on some of these. For your Hakichi. What? Your Hakichi.
What's your last
name, Jacob?
Bradford for the Mar.
You're ahead of the game, bro.
I just hit the play button. It's the, it's
I
this
didn't
close
say you to
thing.
do that yet.
Yeah, I guess I have to obey all
Alright, everyone at this point, question mark. I know you 2 already.
A
Got it.
Jacob and 2 Johns.
So hopefully someone didn't sign me up.
I'll say it's not him.
Oh, it's not him.
He's
So I know there's
graduating.
another door that has two Jacobs in it, and it's not. Okay, which Jacob is in my door? Hold on. Good. Everyone good?
Alright. Alright, so it should look like this, or like what I have here. All good. Alright, so if you didn't download the software ahead of time like I told you to, go ahead and do that now. I know you two have it. Do you have it, Carice?
Yes,
There's a
exactly.
Jacob Peterson.
You checking?
I'm gonna check.
It's actively open.
Okay. There you go. So you're in Arch. I don't know if it'll work. Works
Maybe
on Nix,
or-
but I know we had issues last year with Arch.
Choose game. I think they have something. There is a repository for I don't know where.
It's in the AUR, so I don't think it'll be a
I
problem.
mean, you can try it.
It won't work though.
I'm freaking.
It doesn't connect properly.
Oh, wait. I'm actually
Did you connect the two?
Maybe they fixed it. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Alright. Got it. You got it? Alright, yes. Okay. So next what you can do if you haven't already, there is a little button to the right of the start button. That's like a hexagon. If you click that, that will open the menu to add a analyzer. So you'll select async serial, and then you'll create one for channel 0 at the top. Don't change any of the other settings. Hit save. So I can actually demonstrate this on mine. Whoa. Ooh, we can zoom in and out.
Yes. So yeah. So this button right here,
French CTF that you posted about.
then you'll click async serial,
And then stop when you see
add one for channel 0.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say the date, it doesn't say
Do it again,
Told me the time I just forgot.
Alright.
I'll have to
and then you add channel 1, because we have our receive channel and our transmit
You
channel.
don't even like do anything, but.
Alright, so now what you can do is on the sidebar here, there's a little button that says analyzers. If you go ahead and click that, there should be 2 little analyzers there. And then now with any luck, if you hit the start button, wait for a bit, you should see some data fly by. Then you can stop the transmission. Everyone get that? Everyone's seeing a transmission.
I have it set to be ASCII now. Okay, I'm ready to drink.
So let's see.
There's a and then I just zoom in on John. Like, this is sin.
MAS. Once you've captured the data, you can scroll back and forth, or if you scroll up or down, it zooms in and out. So then you should be able to see this little sequence here that looks like this. If you need to, you can switch the analyzers to read in ASCII. So if you open this analyzers panel on the right, go to the 3 dots next to the analyzer, change it from, I think it usually defaults to hex, change it to ASCII. You can do that for both, neither, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then does everyone see 4 little packets like this?
How do you zoom in?
Scroll up and down.
Earlier mine didn't work. I just unplugged the blue thing from my board and then plugged it back in and ran it again. And
So try hitting start again.
it's that if yours isn't showing it, if you unplug and replug the blue thing, maybe it'll fix it.
So I would try that being just unplug the blue cable, plug it back in.
Does it look like?
Yeah, probably the capture longer than that.
See it fly past on the stereos.
Let's check the ones here. Let's see if we try frames.
The telecommunication company, the aircraft manufacturer,
So French translate depends on
Then let's put it
Also, the final is not. And that's also true.
we have one network you got the data.
Yeah, that's very true.
So everyone else gotten the packets in this page. Cool.
And do you cyber shit?
You're not gonna do something. You can once you pull out the, what do you call that?
This is just something check. Firewall.
It's like some kind of hashing going on.
Looks good.
Oh, let me tell you all this things.
I see it right on, yes. Because if you can see, it's just not reading it properly. So I don't, maybe try deleting it and analyze it.
When you check the French time, it will be according to the French time. So it will be there more than 5 nights.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's what I'm about to check.
Yeah, well, that's not supposed to do that. That's fair. Alright. Everyone see that? That I haven't been trying to help right now. Riley.
Mine looks a bit different, but
It's not using
What?
mine is a bit different, but it's something like that.
Well, it should be the same.
What's that?
Well, it's just different numbers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But as long as it's the 4, like, short, long, that's fine.
The keys get randomly generated each run, so you'll have like your own data.
The data will be different, the encrypted data will be different, and depending on which wires you put where, the long one might be on the top or bottom. Does not matter, all equivalent. We even have the same colors as that. Maybe try switching its different boards. I don't know, because I'm not really sure. Because like, it's
starts at 1 shade.
Is it, I mean, how do you know which one is equal to once and sync?
Yeah, it starts around this
I
time.
don't know. Receive anything?
Tomorrow
Around 7.
Those are about
What's your name?
D?
It starts at 8. Yeah.
8 a.m. on
8 p.m. tomorrow.
8 p.m. tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow night.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm gonna play tomorrow. So that's gonna start getting kicked on.
shit.
Do you have ChatGPT?
Like
That was weird.
Bro, we should actually
No,
try on this one. There's no point buying a fresh dollar in CTF, bro. We're not gonna win, so we're not gonna try to
Pay for
It seems like
any of them. Did I pay for any models?
No one.
which doesn't make sense.
I will say, who?
Yeah, wow.
Sure, no one paid.
I haven't got my claw
I haven't.
agent yet. This guy has
I don't know.
4 agents.
I would try maybe a different.
They're used
You haven't got your cloud agent, but you will for NCL
Yes,
I think I'm gonna get a full hack.
See, we need to do this. If you don't want to win, just don't.
Because you still have it on the wrong thing.
Oh, I don't even. I haven't hacked the box. It's gonna be so bad.
It's fine.
Bro, Ryan, me and Benji run the agent.
Looks good for him.
Or
at least cheating. Well, he doesn't know how to go from here. Unless he's
No, it's not on the TV.
Say, a lot of their questions are, it's not even that they're intentionally AI proof, that they've been like this for years. They're just weird.
Do you have sample questions?
I mean, there's the gym questions, but the gym questions tend to be like, well, one that give you the answer.
Alright.
They just reuse the same one.
Yeah, they're reused and they're usually the easier ones that AI can most likely do. Like a
Send
free
me all the
agent
hard
can do.
ones out of this.
The web challenges, they don't give you any source code. And sometimes there's not even any like code in
Do you
the
know how
website.
Benji solves the website?
Oh, why not try it on your
The
I brought
agent
this
is
up
good. The web.
yeah.
Yeah, but
to see if it's just my
So
how will they cache through?
That's mostly.
Anything right from the pawn challenges?
So they must have just not checked the trash thing because it can't be that they can see the bodies and it's
See
like.
the NCO does. How many people play NCO? Thousands of people, right?
Alright guys, we're doing live
How many
debugging
people
here.
they have?
I wonder if
Yeah, no, they do like explicitly remove
I'm glad we have these. I'm not that like A to B. Like
Try to take people out.
Well,
A lot of options.
we are running hack the box, so I will stick with that. You guys can do that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We still have 4 more rounds.
No. I hope the University of Exeter Austin is the same, that it is goes slow. We need to solve all the challenges at first time.
just see, I'm not even getting anything.
okay, so
Oh, well, that would explain this.
We have plenty of
Oh.
people who popped up in our,
What the fuck?
yeah, 'cause
no, we have to.
that game is running it. They literally have Jacob.
That's what it's like. They usually get 3 agents. How am I supposed to do it?
They saw forensics like in 10 seconds. That's like what I did in the first one. They do that every time. This one from the forensics. One down, one of them. I don't get my so easy. One for that, we don't have to remember. I didn't need it.
Yeah, so there we go. I'm getting the same thing. I'm not sure which. I wonder if it's just the boards.
The first thing to do is just go to the Google.
Yeah, I think I'll probably just have you move to one of the other stations and try it over. Because I think I may have accidentally fried the board or something. Yeah, just take all this back to where you were, and then just switch over. If you need me to back up the instructions, I can.
Oh, I mean, I take that over.
Also, there's a bunch of qualified for that day. They were like, okay, 3 pump, 3 times the box sounds fine.
Alright. Back on track. Oh yeah. So we have this SYN packet. See, terminology gracefully stolen from TCP. We have a SYN packet, SYNAC packet, an ACK packet, and then we have this long sequence that is like DAT, then a bunch of text, then another DAT, etc. And if we zoom all the way in here at the end, we see a fin. So we can assume that this is probably the data payload. And if you thought you were clever and you should have grabbed that data off as base 64 and just decode it, it's not just encoded. It is encrypted. It is actually AES encrypted. So we'll have to inspect another way to try and break it. So we head back over to my wonderful slides. I already did that. Yeah. So I have SYN, ACK, DAT, whatever, etc. So it is encrypted. It's not just base 64. However, I will tell you right now that this is Diffie-Hellman. It's doing a Diffie-Hellman key exchange to generate the keys, and then using that shared secret to AES encrypt. And the idea behind Diffie-Hellman is that basically 2 parties can arrive at a shared secret without ever passing the secret over the public channel. So basically how it works is you take two parties will essentially agree on a generator number, which is just some random number, and then a large prime. Standard Diffie-Hellman is a 2048-bit prime. This image is a very simplified example with the number 23. But essentially then each party generates a private key, like say a random integer, and then you would then compute your own public key by taking the public G generator to the power of your private key and then doing modulus by the public prime. So each party then generates their public key using that method, and then they send the public key to the other party. And then what you can do is if you take the public key of the other party, take it to the power of your private key, and mod it by P, both parties will actually end with the same number. So in this example here, we've got a public prime of 23, a generator value of 5, and then Alice chooses private key of 4, Bob chooses a private key of 3. They take generator to the power of their private key, mod the prime to get their public key. They swap public keys. So Alice's public key is 4, Bob's public key is 10. So then they take the other person's public key to the power of their private key, mod the prime, and they get the same result, the same shared secret of 18, but you notice that nowhere did 18 cross the public channel in the middle. So this system uses Diffie-Hellman for its key exchange. So if we look at the structure of a SYN packet here, it is 32 bytes. We have an 8-byte header. The G key, or the G value is 1 byte. Then our public prime is 4 bytes stored in little endian. That will be important in just a bit. And then the initiating device's public key is also 4 bytes in little endian, and then 15 bytes of padding that we don't care about. One thing you'll notice is that the prime generated is 4 bytes, which is only 32 bits, whereas I told you the standard Diffie-Hellman prime is 2048 bits. So this is a very, very, very small Diffie-Hellman prime, which means that it's very easy to brute force it. So we will go through this process real quick. So the first thing to do is we'll create a little note for bookkeeping. So we want to find the G value, the P value, and then the public key of the first machine. So if we look at our SYN packet here, what we can do actually is if you go to the Analyzers tab again, and just like how you switched it from hexadecimal to ASCII, I'd recommend switching it back to hexadecimal, and that'll just make things a little easier for us. So then what we can do is copy this entire packet. So this is our SYN packet. If we have a look at this, we have however many bytes, and then so on. So if we look back at our structure, I said there's a 8-byte header, a 1-byte G, 4-byte P, pub key A, and then some padding. So if we count out 8 bytes, we'll get to the end of this string here. You can also tell because it ends in a null byte, because it's just a C string. So we have 7 characters and then a null byte. Then we have our 1-byte G value is going to be this 0x40. So we can stick that in to our note. Then the next 4 bytes are our prime. So we can keep track of that. And then the 4 bytes after that are the public key of machine A. And then you'll notice that all the bytes after that are just zeros, and that's just the padding, so that's how we know we pulled everything out correctly. So does everyone see how I did that and what I did? I can run through it again if necessary.
I managed to get it work.
Okay.
Just need to.
Yeah, I can run it back from the start real quick. So what you'll want to do, Omar, is if you switch your analyzers over to hex, do that first, and then close that. Then find the first packet, the SIM packet. You can right-click and copy it. And then you can paste that into like a text document or whatever.
Okay.
And then, if you remember the structure of a SIM packet, we have an 8-byte header, 1-byte G, 4-byte P, and 4-byte pub key. So if we take a look at the first 8 bytes, that runs up to here. We can separate that on a new line. You'll also be able to tell because it ends in a null because it's a C string. Then the next byte is our G value. So that will be, in my case, 0x40. It should be different for you. The next 4 bytes are the public prime, and then the 4 bytes after that are the public key of machine A. And then you should end up with 8144 and then 15 null bytes. You can go ahead and check out the null bytes and the header because we don't care. And then now we are left with our G value, our P value, and our pub key of machine A. So one thing you'll remember as well is I said that the prime and the public key are stored in little endian. That basically means that the bytes are in reverse order. So in this case it's a 32-bit system, so every 32, or every set of 4 bytes gets reversed. So what we'll have to do is take the last byte, make it the first byte, the second to last byte, make it the second byte, third to last becomes third, and then the last one, the first one becomes the last one. Then what we can do is we can delete these little 0x separators because we don't care, it's one big hex number, and then we can go ahead and do the same thing for the public key. Does that make sense to everyone how we got there? I'll take that as a yes.
You're just reversing the order, right?
Yes, so first byte becomes last byte, second byte becomes second to last byte, third byte becomes third to last byte, etc. So then what we can do is we have a very excellent little discrete log solver. So this is known as the discrete log problem. It's how the Diffie-Hellman key exchange works, but since our key is very, very small, we can actually just brute force it using a calculator like this. So you can see the link up here. I'll also just go ahead and post it in the CTF club channel on the computer club Discord in case you can't read it. Then let me know when everyone is here.
You said reverse the public key as well, right?
Yes, because both the public prime and the public key are stored as 32-bit integers, which are then stored little endian, so the byte order gets reversed. So in order to translate that to the real value for us, we flip it back. So is everyone here? I'll take that as a yes. If you don't say anything, I'll assume yes, and I'll just keep going. So then what we can do is take our note from earlier. So in this case, this explains to us that we are solving this equation base to the exponent equals power mod modulus. In this case, we're solving for exponent because that is our private key. So for the base, that's going to be our G value. And one really nice thing about this calculator is it supports hex automatically, so we don't need to do any conversions. Our P value then becomes the modulus, and then our public key becomes our power. And then you should be able to just hit this discrete logarithm button right here, and it will calculate pretty much instantly. You'll get a value like this, x equals some big number plus some big number times k. We want that first number, so you can go ahead and copy that. So now we have the private key for machine A, and we'll get rid of the space on that one. So that makes sense. We've just cracked the private key of machine A. That's some big news right there. So then what we can do is, if you'll remember from the explanation of how Diffie-Hellman works, the shared secret is the public key of the other person to the power of the private key mod the prime. So we already have the prime, we have the private key that we just cracked, so now we need to grab the other machine's public key. So we'll go back to our capture, and we will take this second bit of 32 bytes. We'll go ahead and copy that into our little scratch pad here. And the structure of a SYN-ACK packet, we have the same header, and then we just have the public key, and then the rest is padding. So same deal there. We'll take, where did my note go? We will take the first 8 as the header, the next 4 as the public key, and the rest is padding. And go ahead and get rid of the header and the padding because we don't care. And then we can reverse the Indianness once again. So this is going to be our pub key B. Delete the extra, delete the separators. Alright, so now we have all of the parts we need. So next what I'll do is I will send you this solver script, again in the CTF channel, made in Python. And so I'm hoping that you all have Python installed. You really should, because you're cyber and CS majors. So then what you'll do is we need to install PyCryptoDome. So if you know how to do that with your system package manager, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we can do it like this. Give me 1 second. If you type Python 3-m venv, and then the name of a file doesn't matter, you can just do .venv, is pretty standard. This will create a Python virtual environment for us. And then what you can do is, for the appropriate shell that you're using, you can go ahead and source the activation script. So for like bash, it would look like this: source space ./.venv/bin/activate. I am currently on the fish shell, so I will activate with the fish script. And then what you can do is pip install PyCryptoDome. I just realized I can zoom in, just like that. So install that in your virtual environment. It should just take 1 or 2 seconds. And now what you can do is navigate to where you downloaded the script I sent. So in my case, it's just in my home directory here. And we can actually go ahead and run this script, and it should give you a little help text on how to use it. So we need to provide the public prime, the private key we cracked, the other machine's public key, and then the base 64 ciphertext, which I just remembered. So first we'll go ahead and pull that ciphertext. You want to zoom out so that you can see the entirety of this big long string. You'll right-click that, copy. You can go back to our note here, and this will be our ciphertext. So you'll notice, actually, for the ciphertext, change it from hex back to ASCII. It's just easier that way. So change it to ASCII, and then copy it. And that will give us the base 64 with these data headers. So a data packet I put here is just 8 bytes of header and then 24 bytes of data. So you can go ahead and just find every instance where it says dat_dat \0, just delete that, If you are in Vim, it's pretty easy to do that. Otherwise, you can use whatever find and replace function that your editor has. And then we'll scroll to the end here, and then find, if you remember, base 64 ends in an equal sign, and then you'll see all this padding after it. We can go ahead and just delete everything after the equal sign. And that will be our final encrypted text there. So now we have everything we need to use the Python script. So I'll zoom back in here. So we need the public prime, which we have here. Paste that in. We have the private key that we cracked. You can paste that in. And the public key of the other machine, go ahead and paste that as well. And then finally, the base 64 ciphertext, like that. And for the ciphertext, you might want to put quotes around it. Different shells might interpret, the slashes or whatever as directory names. And then with any luck, you should be able to hit enter on this script, and it should give you the flag. Let's see. Look at that. Flag. Amazing. So I have a little blurb here that I just padded to make the ciphertext longer, and then there's our flag. So did everyone successfully get that?
But because I made a stupid mistake and was too bored when I first ran this to let it fully go and cut it off about here. So I reran it. So I'm just
Should we find some public key for these? Yes, it's just those 4 bytes, because if you remember, the first 8 bytes is the header, and the last after that is padding.
I didn't know they had everything else in it as well.
So that,
And you said cut it off for these, but don't have it.
Mainly just me.
let me see. Oh yeah. Depending on how your AES encryption went, there may or may not actually be an equal sign at the end of the base 64. That's fine. Just scroll to the right until you find where the padding starts, so it starts going /0/0/0. Just delete all of that. So you should be good. You just have to get rid of these little gapped headers in between.
Okay.
So make sure to get rid of the 0 after it.
Okay, and then just,
Yeah.
the rest of it's fine.
So when you're chopping the data headers out of the base 64, remember the header is dat _dat \0. So delete all of that, including the 0.
I have to go help with Battleship apparently. Apparently I signed up for that.
Your Chad Brown. You still got
Forgot
7
that was
minutes.
happening.
Yeah, but I probably should be there.
Obviously, that takes a while to set up.
What?
That takes a while. I assume they've been setting up Battleship.
I hope so.
Okay, because that one involved a lot of tape last time.
I signed up
that
to
was happening.
I signed up to help, and then I forgot that I signed up to help.
Real. I keep, forgetting to sign up to help and also do the things I'm supposed to do. But
Well, they stopped doing the sign-up spreadsheet, didn't they?
yeah.
So it's like, I don't even know,
No, I have a paper
So there's your
tonight, and I do an attacking, and
you just need
I
to clean up that base
leave campus at
64.
2:30 in the morning.
Leave,
I'll
and
fly
then
to
still
fly,
have those
so.
and replace.
Good luck.
I was gonna go to the events. I'm not going.
Alright, so then did you download that?
I had Mason Norbert texting me about 20 minutes ago asking where I'm at.
Hello, Alex. Have fun.
Those fancy IDs.
We love
See,
Jeopardy.
mine's just coffee.
Put everything in there, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yes, everything else.
Even though half the time I don't know how to make it, get it to do what I want it to do.
2:30 a.m.
So it should be installed.
Fly home or something.
So, yeah, moving the campus at like 2:45.
So now if you run it again, it will show you.
It is hard to
flight.
Then I have 2 layovers, so I'm not even getting to my last airport until 4 p.m. and then I have an hour and a half drive.
Yeah, it's pretty much easier
So,
to
Yeah, I know.
not do it. Anyway.
It's okay. Here, I'll run that back.
it was like spend like 300 on a flight, spend like 150.
So those are the parameters you need to pass.
Like maybe
And you shouldn't need to do any
I'm not
conversions for any of those values. The script already
I
accounts for
think,
the fact
but
that
I
they're
had 2 layovers on the way there, and then only a 30-minute layover on the way back.
I assume
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
intelligent decision
To
to
like,
like
you
for
give it a
it.
chance, bro.
Did
Okay, I
you?
did get
No, I
you,
looked-
sure.
I looked about a month ahead.
Okay, well that's better than me. I was looking like
Oh.
last
So then you got.
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
no.
Yeah.
I looked 2 months ago.
Yes.
They were
Okay,
cheap.
so
No, I was already looking
I think
at
it
it,
was
just,
350 whenever I ended up there.
so,
But the initial flight I looked at was like 800 by the time I went to book
So I
it,
would
and it
open
was
it.
like,
Why
I
are
almost
you
was like, I can't.
Just
do
open
it.
Notepad.
But I ended up getting it.
okay, I'm gonna do it here.
That's good. That's what I was.
So chop out for
I
steak
looked at the wrong
bites.
week initially. and I
That's
was like,
gonna
oh,
be
hey,
your
I
base.
got one for like 350.
Wait, so this first one's like
Oh, no,
base.
I'm a week
One
late.
bite.
Because we
So-
got spring
Okay, well,
break.
that's
So you're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
then the
Then
next
boom.
4 bites is
800.
your
I'm
prime.
not doing that.
So that's actually gonna be
Where
your
would you fly
modules.
to?
Seattle.
Wait, the first 4 is
Yeah,
going
no,
to
I'm
use.
flying.
And remember they're little endian, so you'll want to reverse the order. So you want it to be 374E942.
Please, Andrew.
We'll keep the
Yeah.
0x.
It's okay. The way back.
Actually, you might not do that.
Just through Minneapolis, and hopefully
Success?
it's like
Question mark?
right next to each other. Oh, I wasn't done.
Okay, well, let's work on it because we got 4 minutes. Dude, I feel like a middle school teacher right now. No side conversations.
I mean, I know how to do it. I saw you do it earlier.
I'm
Okay.
sorry for this grave violation of meeting protocol.
This
No.
here, it should be.
Got the cursion failed. I
There's
wonder
a-
if maybe is the private key or the public key for the third primary. I'm sure that's for the other machine.
Did you run it like
Yeah.
some
Same
show
kind.
what it's expecting?
Yeah.
This one is my private key for the other one. It might have been maybe. I think I saw you maybe accidentally backspace one of the base 64 characters. So you want to just recopy the base 64 instead of
Well, prime is going to be the P. So it'd be.
So you do have. So you have some accidentally deleted too much. There you go. And then if you just do control H, and then do that header and
So
that's what you do. And then just do it based on
I mean, this
there
one.
you go. Now copy that. Try that.
Is that machine is per key?
Yes. There we go. Yeah. Nice job, Dan. Got one solve
We're
here.
just gonna say it.
No, you're gonna
Why?
try. What? I gave you all the steps.
I know.
So
I
you should-
just don't want to complete the steps.
Why not? Why
Same
you-
reason I haven't completed my essay.
We can review it.
No actual.
Come to the
reason.
club meeting. Do the club meeting activity.
I did them, and then I did them wrong, so then I stopped doing them.
Like, am I supposed to? I just remove this, right? Like substitution.
Fine. And then make sure to delete all the padding as well. It looks like that's going to be the same values. And what is giving me a specific error
Oh,
when you run
It's just a AST error.
padding is incorrect. Interesting.
That's what I was getting at. I had the wrong fields, but I put that field so
Is it padding on the base 64? My base 64 wasn't copied correct out of the thing. Like it was fully in there. It just wasn't learning to copy correct.
I need help with doing battleships.
So like,
Battleship.
yeah. So like, if you
basically it was correct.
and like I copy
Double check
like
it, got the work.
copy like
It's out.
that.
Your hex deals.
Watch it work now. Yeah, it wasn't copying.
Like,
So
as
did
a
his
bucket.
fully copy or did his
It's
end up
'cause,
weird?
I think we got the full base 64.
Okay.
We got
you
the
have to.
Yeah, I know.
One weird thing is that you have to zoom out so that whole packet is visible before you copy it. Otherwise, it's
Yeah, I think we got the full thing now.
Okay.
well. Let's see. I wonder if maybe you just
Padding issues sound like a AES shitting itself.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Well, maybe that's
Rust,
just
I spent way too many hours messing.
Well, when I was testing it earlier, that's what it was throwing for me when I had the wrong decryption info. So I don't know what the possibility of that is.
usually padding, or if you have the wrong key, it will just say decryption failed. So UX20 is our base. That should be 700E FBD1.
When I went to Florida, I went to Chicago, and we sat on the airplane for like an hour or so, and then we had to get off again because the bathroom broke. So I was in Chicago for like 4 hours, and my family was just waiting for me at the airport because it was Florida, so they were going to pick me up. And they were waiting there till like midnight. I don't know, maybe they explored the Orlando airport or something, who knows. That was a fascinating experience.
I went home like a month ago, and I was supposed to have like a 35-minute flight, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to like book it off my plane, go on to the next plane. And so we're 10 other people, apparently 10 people that day decided that they were going from Sioux Falls to Charlotte. 10, like a family, a couple other people. We were all ready to like book it off and book it however far away our gate was. We all turned our phones off of airplane mode to check
So that's
what
your
gate our next flight is at. We looked
Index, okay.
and we start getting
I just got
you
the-
hear everyone's notification.
Wait, I just got
Your
the
flight has been delayed
integer
5
form of that
minutes.
X-ray.
And then it comes again 5 minutes later.
So
It's been delayed another 45 minutes.
now if
They do everything they can to lie about the
Control
actual
it.
departure time.
Yeah, it started for being like a 20-minute delay, and then it ended up being like a 4-hour delay.
I was looking in my American app and I had a 4-hour issue, and it was like
there you go.
boarding
All right.
0 minutes ago.
So actually, I just remembered I did make.
not on the airplane.
I did make a place to submit the flag. Give me 1 second, I'll make it public.
It's successfully good.
Good job, Chris.
Finally went up to the desk and was like, "Can you just tell me if I have time to go eat food or not? Because I don't believe you guys anymore."
No, I ended up boarding started when I was supposed to be landing
All
in
right.
Charlotte.
Yeah, so the Silly Seal Hardware Hacking Challenge is now public. So if you got the flag, should be able to submit there for an next 300 points. I know you want it, Reddit.
I do. Alright, so let's see. Okay. So you reverse steadiness on that, yes. Okay, this is what I have, like, all this. What is this? Like, I know it's just the private key, so it's gonna be this value right now. Do they all have to be not hex, but
Oh yeah, I'm just submitting.
no, it automatically does the hex
Yeah, I
conversion.
just
You
got-
should
I didn't get the
this.
exponent, I got like the keyboard,
Let's see.
like, but it's an integer.
So I think
I mean, sorry, base 10.
So one thing with this text is you have to zoom out so that all of it is visible. Otherwise, it doesn't copy properly. So,
I think our solar sailor box is mostly done.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like, I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to do on it. I might add like a banner or something,
Yeah.
just because what Jillian said to add.
What, like when
Place
you log in, it's just gonna print
Yeah, like an
SPR?
Etsy issue or something. To be honest, though, how do you theme a CLI only box?
Type of text. And it's
I don't know what else to do. Well, the last thing we didn't have checked was
Let's
theme,
double check.
but we only have a command line, so like, what are we supposed to do? No wallpaper or anything.
So
Technically, you could
now
have the TTY could have like a color like
let's actually
blue
start
or whatever.
this.
Well, that's more up your alley than mine, so if you want to add that, go feel free.
I don't know about Tron Road like at all, but you could tell me what the colors. Just give me the colors.
We're up a creek with no paddle.
I mean, we watched Tron last semester, didn't we?
As if I was.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
It's where you and I are like, we're mutually exclusive at the meetings. Like, either one of us is not allowed to be there at the same time. Either I'm there or you're there. So.
Anyway.
Yeah, I added a debug service that listens on 503, which is like a backdoor in, and then there's a program that has like path errors in it, so they can like steal the grid secret or something. That is like a second path.
Yeah. So for this first value, we want the prime, which is our populous value.
Yeah, I don't know. We should do okay.
There you go.
I gotta go this
All right. Have fun, Jacob.
I assume that at least some help cleaning up.
Yes, I would, especially since Jacob has to go. And he's the one that helped me set everything up. Alright, so to clean up, you can go ahead and just unplug the logic analyzer from your laptop and unplug the Arduinos, and then you should be able to just rip up all the wires without any repercussions. And then I will say, yeah, bring all of the Arduinos to these side tables, please, and then start putting them back in the boxes. And then for the logic analyzers, all of the boxes I took them from over here, so just take them over and then put the wires back in the box.
Breadboard wires go first, box.
Leave the breadboard wires separate. It's not a big deal if they get put in there, but I would just throw them in a separate pile. And then once you've packed up the logic analyzer, you can go ahead and just throw it over here, I guess. Or just go ahead and put it back in this box, like in case.
These ones already have stuff in them.
That's fine. Put the little 3 thingies back in the 3 thingy holder. This. Put them. Oh, cute. The 3 thingy. I don't know what these are called, and I have no idea what to search to find out. Yeah, and then for the blue wires, those do not go for logic analyzers. Leave those separate.
Where's up it?
That should go in the box, yeah. It should be able to sit on top. Doesn't matter if it's kind of loose, it'll still fit. Alright, and then once you're done packing up the logic analyzer, can you put it over here, please?
What about these?
Leave those separate. You can kind of just gather them over there where you can set them. That's fine. You guys have fun?
I had so much fun. I've never done anything physical like that before.
It's very neat. It's very. That's why I was hoping a lot more people would show up, because we had like 30 people come last year, and that was a much more boring meeting. Not sure if it's $15. if you'd like to play with some stuff like this at home, the Arduinos are, I don't know, maybe $30 a piece. The logic analyzers are $500 a piece. So, yeah, not exactly feasible.
This wire goes in,
Yeah, then this goes up here.
and we tie it with
And throw those in, throw them away, I don't care.
No, I'll just somehow trick my job into thinking it's necessary for me to have one.
And that's what Governor Cyber Academy did. There's, you know, I got out 12 and there's still another probably 10 in there. So,
Heck, I'll buy me a KVM, so.
see, I forgot to ask Andrew where I should put this stuff after. Let me do that.
I should get Andrew's phone numbers, kind of annoying.
I just realized that I'm looking for these, just the
Yeah.
receptacles / female type B, like, so I don't need to get wires. That's cool.
Okay.
So then if you could gather all the Arduino boards, breadboard wires, USB DAs, bring them over here. Start putting them in these boxes.
Oh, cool. Working. Huh? It's not yet I just want to finish sending the
Yeah, do you think they end up?
They're doing like
Yes.
hardware hacking.
So, she's in charge of the whole hiring line. Oh, it's brand new, I guess. They put a wire in the phone with the for the Pinterest thing. I got to meet her.
Yeah, she's very nice. There's a lot of the GCA stuff.
I just keep it.
I got rejected from Black Forest.
You did? They,
No, I'm on
They said I never did for their long education.
the school business,
I swear to God, there's some washed up like Western that tried to text me all with genuine trash out. Because we fucking stomped their ass in CCUC. You know? Like they lost
That's
like
annoying.
double the number.
Thank you, guys.
Some of these are really
Take you later.
have a accident, accident, just get fluent. That's okay.
Oh,
I think a couple of them are just loose. Which is not ideal, but
yeah. And then all the breadboard wires and blue wires also just go in that bag.
All the blue wires have like high pins.
What's the matter? I just realized there's 2 more Arduino boxes. This looks different. It's fine.
it's all the same shit.
Well, thanks for running it.
Well,
I don't know where I'll like ever use this, but
we're going to embedded. Anything embedded related, possibly encryption. That's pretty relevant.
I just realized the stream's been going with no